tension between creative and execution at its base is inherent to everything that we do. We have built a team and a process around the very clear realities that we have, that we're not going to have enough time. There's probably not going to be enough money. And we have to figure it out and get it done anyway. The parameters that we are working with, they often don't stop changing, but the show date doesn't change. It is baked into our understanding of the world that we work in. What we're helping our clients understand is that doesn't frighten us. It doesn't turn us off. We kind of feed on that energy. That's why you need us.
Atomic is a multifaceted production, design, fabrication company that has all sorts of services. So we can do blue sky production on a good idea, or we can be actualizing someone else's very detailed, fully fleshed out designs and everything in between. So oftentimes we're partnering with a firm that has a need for top-level design to be done in iteration, and oftentimes we are receiving very detailed technical drawings that have the engineering done in advance, and we're trying to find the best way to manufacture those things for them, get them loaded in fast, usually.
Because we have all those connections, all those services under one roof, I think we have a fair amount of understanding and maybe even empathy for the different roles in a production. I think it allows us to be more responsive and kind of see around the corner and think about what someone else needs and not just what our little department needs with our little blinders on, if you will.
It starts with pictures. However that comes to us, sometimes it's a napkin sketch, sometimes more recently it's AI-generated images. We take our time to sort of work that out with the client, make sure we're understanding what's really important to them. A lot of modeling takes place in Vectorworks to get it as close as we can to what we think the final product is going to be. Work with our fabricators, talk it through, and we start building. That process seems very linear. It's often a lot of back and forth. Nothing ever goes exactly to plan, especially when you're building custom one-off pieces of scenery that have never been built before. And so you have to sort of rely on your fabricators to smooth out what is super perfect in the computer, but in reality is not quite.
The more we keep things in-house, the more we're able to kind of control that outcome and quality control it and, step it through that process beat by beat. I can walk out right now and go look at something on the floor and see how it's going and maybe catch something that either wasn't my intention or that was misinterpreted.
We're like a sports car. You're coming to us for speed and accuracy and handling, right? If we outsourced it, we wouldn't have as much control over the final result. And I think everybody here cares so deeply about seeing the design vision to fruition and making sure it is to the highest standard. And you just can't do that if it goes somewhere else.
The production designer can walk down to my desk and say, here's what I'm thinking of showing, but we need it to be built in a week. What can I change to make it feasible and not compromise the aesthetic or the goals? We prototype quickly, and once we have proof of concept on a fabrication method, we disseminate the detailing of that amongst as many people as we can to get the whole show drawn in a day or two off to the CNC tables.
What I'm super proud of is the quality of work that comes out of our shop as a testimony to the passion everyone has for their part of the process and their step and their role. Inspirational is maybe the best word I could think of to see that the way that this team can work together and produce some incredible stuff.
Delivering a high-quality product to high-profile clients really is all about opening night. When we're doing a live event that has a fan base, that the people attending that event might be saving up all year to go see this thing. So it really means a great deal to me to make sure that that's the coolest experience they can possibly have.
To take that first rendering and hold it up in the venue and look at the piece of scenery and see how closely we matched up to it, that's the world to us.
It feels really, really good when the story that your client is trying to tell is executed well, and then your personal friends out in the world receive that story. They see the story that Nike's trying to tell with Complex Con. They saw it on the social media page of whatever celebrity and was like, did you see this Nike thing with all of Travis Scott's shoes up on the wall? That's really cool. And then I get to go, yeah, I helped make that.
When Nike and Atomic have been working together for over 20 years, they have consistently been incredible pushing the creative boundaries. Normal is not part of Nike's vocabulary. They are ceaselessly creative and innovative in what they're asking us to do. They've asked us to solve some of the most complicated and fun problems that anyone has ever asked us. And we've had a chance to do some really breathtaking work over the years.
With Nike, and particularly Complex Con, it's a deployment that has lots of stakeholders. So Nike partners with other firms to do little pop-up experiences, and they showcase a lot of their new technology. So coordinating all of those different points of view into a mind-blowing experience on a trade show floor oftentimes takes a lot of effort, lots of meetings, lots of time, lots of iteration. And when we finally get down to a design that satisfies all the needs, we're usually left with little time to build it. So the entire time we are iterating top-level design, we're also in the background coming up with a strategy on how to fabricate it quickly and how to load it in quickly.
When we work with a legacy brand like Nike, some of the things we have to keep in mind is that, one, the design process is not purely linear. There are a lot of stakeholders within Nike, and when a big event is happening, the way the process works in Nike is that different groups get brought on and briefed on what's happening at different times in the process. So what starts out as an initiative from one group perhaps may end up being an initiative that involves many groups within Nike by the time the process is over. And so we have to keep that in mind, that as we go through the process of getting from creative concept to execution, there'll be lots of new inputs that we don't know about. We have to be expecting them and be flexible to them when they show up. But we have to, in our minds, not commit to locking things down too soon, because when we lock things down and then something gets added, that's more disruptive. So part of our process has been to allow that flexibility, to expect it, frankly, to expect some disruption along the way. And that, this is just, it's what Nike is really good at doing, is having lots of beautiful thoughts, beautiful ideas, and their idea generators just continue as the process goes, which both is challenging from an execution standpoint, and almost always yields the best result. We almost can see that, hey, that idea, while it came a little bit late, it is actually a better idea. Let's figure out how to figure it out. Most recently, we've done 2 Nike presences at Complex Con in Las Vegas. Last year was a big experience with Travis Scott. We had 2 experiences, one with Travis Scott and one featuring their Nike Air Max relaunch. Just big, really innovative and sort of boundary-pushing design with high stakes, talent attached with lots of ideas and lots of creative insight, lots of creative challenges and changes in a very short timeline.
With Air Max 1000, we came up with a modular wall system because we knew we had to start building before all of the AV equipment was placed, for example. And so we were able to make wall sections that we knew we could take apart very easily on site if a screen was added, for example, or speakers were added after the build process had already begun, and how it would be an easy on-site modification. And then we also needed to fabricate hundreds and hundreds of running feet of these walls. So the subcomponents were all intercompatible and universal, so that we could just come up with a design, do one prototype, and start making parts out on the shop floor without fear of something not being compatible when a design change inevitably does have to happen.
When you're working with a brand like Nike, it's very important that you're able to iterate quickly, but also be very precise in what you're saying. Nike has a product and a reputation that they're trying to uphold. It's just the quicker that you can communicate back and forth and land on the path forward, the better off you're going to be. A good example was they wanted these big locker structures, and we were very quickly able to pull our catalog of one of our trusted vendors, trust components out, and construct something based on what the actual thing would be. So it allowed us to very quickly iterate into something that was reliable, that could be built and was like a real thing and not just the idea of something. Nike Fanatics Fest project was a challenging tech design that went in very smoothly compared to what it could have been if we weren't using the right tools and the right processes to make it happen. A lot of what that tech design required was a lot of really high-end smooth finishes on top of a curved structure and getting a closed ring structure to come together without anything like overlapping or binding. Seeing that go in with the planned tolerances but still being a tight fit to look good was a really satisfying moment.
It was the biggest thing in the room. I walked around and looked at all the other booths and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of neat. And then I looked back across the room and what we had put up was just towering over everything else and looked way more impressive. This is a cool, impressive thing we did there.
They have a really high expectation of finish and customer experience, guest experience, and part of our job as production experts is to know what works and what doesn't work. So sometimes the folks coming up with the ideas are not necessarily seasoned event folks. They're maybe more idea generator folks. And so our job is to help them understand the implications of that new cool idea on guest flow or security or access to retail or whatever the situation may be. And so to make sure that we're giving that feedback in a way that can be understood and can be heard and can be valued.
We have to communicate visually with a lot of different stakeholders in a process. From a top-level design point of view, Vectorworks is really powerful at making pictures aesthetically pleasing and not just technically satisfying, whereas we can get very detailed reports on exactly how many bolts we're using and add lots of database information to that so that tracking those sorts of things, especially across rapid iteration, is accurate and easy.
Both our design team and our fabrication team are using Vectorworks. Keeping us all in the same ecosystem allows for a lot of efficiencies in the way that we work in our resource manager, in our file paths, and even within our file structure. It allows a lot less opportunities for like, oh, this got interpreted differently by a program because it had to get translated from like one CAD to another or from one rendering engine to another. Keeping that all under a Vectorworks umbrella allows for us all to be speaking the same language and work more efficiently.
The role that Vectorworks plays in our day-to-day operations at Atomic is to just really support that visuals heavy approach that we take. As I mentioned, we're founded by a designer with design in our DNA, and we know that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we are, I think, known in the industry and continue to reinforce with our team that we need to draw it to communicate clearly. As our industry evolves and changes, and even referencing AI as a design tool, it becomes more and more important for us as a scene shop, for example, to get really real and specific about what it is we're building. Design doesn't always come in as technical as a form as it could to us, and so our job is to interpret beautiful pictures, mood boards, napkin sketches, whatever, into real three-dimensional things that can be then, budgeted and weights figured out and all the technical realities considered. And so we rely on Vectorworks to help us do that and be the backbone of our approach to visualization, whether that's from a shop drawing perspective to execute the actual build in the shop, or feedback to a client, or to then become the beautiful picture of a rendering from our design studio as well.
We're a company that was founded by a designer, and so really delivering on that visual language is our cornerstone. Vectorworks helps us do that. From start to finish, we are drawing, we are rendering, we are sharing stories via Vectorworks. We're always trying to match that original design vision and get as close to that as we can. It means everything to us.